Are you listening?
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. There's supposed to be a hillbilly here, but he kind of disappeared. He went bloop.
Oh no, we lost Hillbilly. Where did he go?
Where did you go, hillbilly? Where did you go? We were missing you.
Where did he come from? Where did he go?
That's right.
Hillbilly.
Right.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either. You got exiled.
Yeah, because it said Peter failed to play video and kicked me off. And I'm like, what the heck?
That's
So
weird.
then I restarted my computer, and after I restarted this computer, I came back.
All the stuff. Well, everybody, I want to wish you a good morning, and I want to officially welcome you to Super Fast Tortoise, which is officially sponsored by CardsUtopia.com, where you can find sweet Magic the Gathering dice bags like this, or like that little one. Yeah, well, it's not a little bag. It just looks little because the screen is small. $45 for $5 ship, or you can get these $75 vinyl dice bags. Pretty sweet, pretty awesome. Or you can get some cool lapel pins to sweeten up the swag of your backpack, your hat, whatever it is. And you can get these customized paintings. You can get these paintings like this, or you can get it customized just like your dice bags. They all can be found at CardsUtopia.com. That's right. Feel the rhythm.
I need to get with Dark myself and order some of those paintings because my walls are bare.
Yeah, that's true.
You could spruce up your room.
Since you dropped the green screen, I could see what you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You guys having a good day out there?
Yeah, pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
It's very rainy up here in Washington.
Yeah, it's very cold out here. It was raining a little last night, but we got in the negative temps last night. Like yesterday's weather was so insane, right? We had a nice 70-degree day. Then like on a dime, it went from 70 to like 33 and started dropping lower and lower. But the real feel was at -3, -4 last night.
Dang. Well, it's 37.
I don't miss Iowa.
Well, it's 37 here right now. And a bunch of bad weather came through, and we're under a tornado watch.
No.
That's not good.
Just now.
Stay safe.
Yes,
Up there in Chicago, they had some tornadoes run through up yonder.
Yeah, there's a couple areas outside of our state that I live in that have had tornadoes nearby us, and that's because we're in a weird weather pattern. That's because we're not in a El Nino or La Nina effect. Both sides of the waters on the oceans are warming up, and it's causing a weird stream to go through. So it's messing with the weather, everybody.
Yep.
Hall, y'all.
When I lived there like 4 years ago in Iowa, you might have had this happen too in your area, but we had a land hurricane come through, and it was wild how like we were sitting outside and you could just see like this giant wall cloud. It was literally like day and night how it looked. And as soon as it got to like where we were, I'm not even kidding. It was dumping so much rain you could barely see.
Are you talking about the derecho?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a dumbass during that time. Like I was looking at our sliding glass window and the wind just came in and I was holding the window closed so it didn't open. Luckily, obviously, I'm safe. Like I did a lot of things to protect the apartment we lived in. And apparently, for what I did and was stupid enough to go through, out of our entire complex, we had the most secured apartment. because there was no water damage in our area. Like our other apartments had like roofs torn off, windows open, soaked to carpets.
Ooh.
I did everything to make sure our apartment was clean. That we actually got a discount off our rent because we were the only ones that didn't need any fixing in the apartment.
Nice.
Nice. Oh, we had that one thing come through Oklahoma last year, and it knocked out the power for a full week in June, and it was really
yeah.
really hot.
Oh yeah,
Well,
so the derecho came.
I was wrong about my weather. My area is under just a wind advisory till 3:00.
Oh,
Yeah, when that derecho came through, it was the beginning of COVID.
no.
Yep.
I went out for a week and a half, and it was smoldering hot. So those didn't mix well. Poor wife was working at a I don't want to name the place, but like a child care place. Had to
Like
wear a mask, wear a mask. Working in child care, you want to be wearing like heavier clothes,
yeah.
like thicker clothes. Poor thing had to go to work in a hot environment with those hefty cloth masks where it's hard to breathe, in a building that had no air conditioning and kept on running people could have been like, this derecho, take care of your stuff, keep your kids at home with you, but work kept persisting for everybody, so now everybody could stop that. It was a tough time. Like, we were scavenging for ice, we were scavenging for food, because we'd get food and we had no place to put it without going bad. But once we got power, we were able to get some frozen foods we could thaw out and cook. But the one thing we learned is we didn't affect the water. We thought our apartment water ran on electric, so we thought we had cold water in the showers, which is neat because we'd take a shower during the hot day to cool off. But the hot water was working. We could have made prison style ramen noodles.
I remember one time. I've been through a couple of tornadoes. I lived with my ex-wife, and in a real small town, they had like 2 stoplights in the whole entire town. That's how small it was. Well, later that day, the whole sky atmosphere felt weird. I mean, it wasn't hot, it wasn't cold,
right?
It was just feeling, weird. I mean, you could feel like the static. It almost felt like static electricity in the air.
Right.
And anyway, it was a town called Providence, Kentucky. And we went home. As soon as we got home, a tornado came through and wiped out half of the town.
Ooh, that's rough.
Luckily, we wasn't hit.
That's a lucky thing. Lucky indeed.
Yep, but a lot of her family members got hit.
Oh,
hard.
Oh wow. Well, I'm glad you guys.
I'll tell you what, the thunderstorms out there hit different in the Midwest. I've seen thunderstorms on the West Coast, and I've seen them on the East Coast, but damn, those ones in the Midwest, they are scary.
Oh yeah.
We used to be called the Tornado Alley, but that since when we used to be called that, it has shifted slightly over to the east.
No, it's still Tornado Alley here where I'm at.
Not where I live anymore, but it shifted a little bit to the east. I don't think Oklahoma is in Tornado Alley anymore.
No,
but it used to be.
Right. Oh man.
All right, so that was a cool topic. What is our real topic?
All right. We'll get to the real topic. Give me a quick second. Let's breathe. Let's say hi to people in chat. Let's say hello, Investable Collectibles. We'll get to some of your points there when we get there. Hello, James Willis. You're awesome. You're amazing. Mrs. Hillbilly, what's going on? Woo. Investable Collectibles says it's cold and sunny and 25 wind chills there. Nice. I realized while we were talking and I could have been doing stuff, I wasn't doing stuff. I need to upload the images of the day, the card of the day.
It's all right. I got us back on track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, one. There's 3 pictures that were shared last night. 2. There's 3. I love that one. And the card of the day, I literally just Scryfalled in the spare of the moment because that's how Tortoise works. I woke up late today. I stayed up late last night waiting for the wife to get off work. She worked an extra shift, and I told her to stay up till she got off because she worked like 4 hours. But it was like from 10 to 1. So, Hillbilly, you know what time of day it is. What time of day is it?
Is it
Card of the day.
Woo!
nice?
Yeah, Chancellor of Annex is a card of the day. It costs 4 generic, 3 white, 5/6. Creature Angel. You may reveal this card from your opening hand. If you do, when each opponent casts his or her first spell of the game, counter that spell unless that player pays 1.
Ooh,
Flying. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, counter that spell unless the opponent pays 1. Nice. It basically stalls the first 1 drop of the game if there is. I wonder if this actually sees play in Modern or something just for it.
I like this.
Captain Waffle says nope. I believe him.
Yeah, I don't believe it would either because Modern's got such a lot of powerful cards now.
Right.
This is still a good card.
Right, with the ability like acting kind of like a ley line. That's why I'd care to know. You know, like I could see this in a white black reanimator kind of deck. Who knows? But like I'm a Timmy, so
The problem is it just doesn't have enough behind it because it doesn't affect the board state dramatically. It's literally like a Thorn of Animist or some kind of tax effect. If it was straight up counter the first card, then yeah, that would probably be a little bit better. But even then, it's just such a high cost.
right. Hence the reanimator part.
It is. But I do like it.
Yeah, I think it's a fun card. Like I'd probably be the derp to try to make a modern reanimator or a legacy reanimator deck with this. I'm like, oh, turn 1, counter that spell unless you pay 1. Pay an extra for that dark ritual. That's right. All right, for some 3 of them, we got just 1 cup. See Bugs Bunny pouring a cup of coffee into a larger cup. That's how it is. How it is sometimes. Then we got
You'd die to have a cup like that.
yeah. You got the coffee pot house, dream house. It's shaped like a coffee pot. Then we got I'm not a T-Rex. I'm a Coffeesaurus. That's right. All these pictures are shared by Mrs. Hillbilly. Wrong species of dinosaur for the reference, but I like the clever girl. This is supposed to be like a T-Rex, but it's a raptor. It's a clever girl, but still. Drinking coffee makes you feel clever. All right. Now for the topic of the day. Woo. The topic today is called more product, less focus on an MTG. Blah. And I'm kind of like I was thinking about yesterday. I hit the wrong thing. And I actually made some monologue to kind of go over it because I think there's some topics that we want to hit on, right? Some things we want to talk about. Now, but today, even though I woke up late, I actually went research and did a little research on what people are thinking about Magic and kind of condensed it. And so I started out saying, is anyone else getting some serious MTG fatigue with these constant new sets and spoilers coming out? There are people who've thought about retiring from the game of Magic the Gathering because of the focus being product driven more than a tournament grind. There are people who jump in the game of Magic then lose the spark for it because Standard is hard to follow and Commander cares too much about every card being printed. The overwhelming amount of products get exhausting and the different skews get confusing. If you don't know what a skew is, it's different products, different packs, different style packs you're buying, different price ranges. We've talked about price hikes. We've talked about wealth segregation. We've had talks about how and why the game is struggling and how it's hard for people to be able to stay in the game or continue. Now, let us daydream and brainstorm ways the game could get better and healthier. Maybe someone is listening. That's the monologue. Boom, boom, boom. Because Tortoise is a monologuer. No kidding. I'd be a bad villain.
Well,
Yeah.
what I think is, I said this before, I say it again. I think they need to bring back the DCI numbers and go back to their roots. In other words, go to the LGSs, help the LGSs, because the LGSs is what helps you grow. Because
yeah.
where do you get magic cards? If you besides places Amazon, not counting Amazon or Walmart, where do you get magic cards? LGSs.
LGSs, or you go to websites like TCG Player,
Right.
where everybody's
Yep.
selling cards.
A
But
Card Kingdom or wherever, but
yep, but what they need to do, they need to focus on the LGSs and help them grow. Because then if they help the LGSs grow, they're actually helping themselves grow.
LGSs are a great place to support them. Not only us, but Wizards should support them because that's where the battleground is, if you ask me. Like the battleground for playing Magic. But like at the same time, like the Pro Tour happened the other week or other day, and I didn't even know that was happening.
honestly,
Yeah.
neither did I.
Neither did I.
Until Captain Waffles was talking about it, I had no idea it went on. That's bad marketing, especially for someone who's subscribed to many Magic the Gathering channels.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know nothing about it.
Right?
Well, I seen Captain Waffles talking about it. I watched that.
That's why you got to follow my
also-
channel. I'll tell you everything.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Subscribe to Captain Waffles. Here.
I feel like what you guys are saying is exactly right. Magic itself, the whole game and everything, it's an ecosystem. You have your checks and balances, and you have all these things that intertwine and help each other out. You have WotC printing the cards, LGS selling it to the players. Players are trading. Players are paying. And first and foremost, is the game. Like
Right.
they
I mean-
get into it. Most people get into it for playing the game. I get there are people out there that like the artwork, that like the cards, and eventually some of those people even get into playing the game, but that wasn't their first initial thing of what they were wanting to do. But regardless, I've said this before, I'll keep preaching it. The main thing that drives Magic is the tournament scene. If you don't have the tournaments, there's no echelon for the top. There's no competitiveness, and it starts to die. You have to have the competitiveness of the tournaments, and the G circuit was one of the best out there. Now they don't have to bring back the DCI numbers. The companion app is kind of taking that over, and that's fine. I get that because they want to integrate you and have you get player and paper, and it's all combined to catch people. Like people used to use other people's Moto's account.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Hold on, you were roboting out.
Yeah, you were.
Am I good now?
Yeah.
Okay, so like they want to catch people from not playing on other people's Moto account. That's the whole reason why they went to Companion, because DCI wasn't able to transfer into Magic Online, but with Arena they can keep track of the same person across different things. So you don't have to bring back DCI, but bring back the freaking judge program in a way that you actually train people in the correct way so that they can play these high level events without this skewed rulings and all these bad calls and everything to help with the tournament scene.
Right.
Regardless, the main thing that needs to come back is the tournament atmosphere. If you guys don't even know the Pro Tour is happening, yes, that's bad marketing on their part. And also, they're losing a lot of viewership and a lot of money by not having these tournaments happen and people know about them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, earlier when I was writing the monologue, a little epiphany went through my head. And I've known this fact for a long time, but it's like, well, yeah, it makes sense. Is like the reason why tournaments like these pro tours and GPQs and stuff are important is people get into deck building, like serious deck building, and they're always fighting to find that deck that's going to, going to be good enough to fight against most other decks. And what happens
The metagame.
What happens is not only is there a metagame, the metagame for the Pro Tour is a whole different beast. But when decks do well, it spikes demand for those cards. And we've seen this many times. And I used to be able to follow this trend when the Pro Tour was huge. When the Pro Tour during the original Innistrad was happening, and Delver's Secrets and Guys to Say Draft were like a huge deal in that tournament. Those cards spiked up, created demand. People wanted them because it was the deck to play, and the deck to play is what drives the sales of boxes, the products, because a single sellout, people are opening product for them. Even Liliana the Vel, she lasted forever in the Jund build. You know what I'm saying? Like during that time, the Pro Tour not only stimulates the demand, it revitalizes the market and the LGS.
Mm-hmm.
And
that goes back to my same point of it being an ecosystem. You have that, and you have players driven to buy the product. You have to have this balance of not underprinting, but not overprinting either. And also, this fits into the wallet fatigue and card fatigue and everything. When you had 3 sets a year, you had a very limited card pool to really work with and figure out the metagame, and there was a lot more people trying to break cards that weren't really being looked at because they're like, man, I'm tired of this stagnant format. And the format's changed week to week. You would have minus the Cobblade era, you would have vampires come out, and then the next week you'd have a deck that would just absolutely slaughter vampires, and then the next week you would have the deck that beat that deck, and you had this constant power struggle of figuring out what the metagame was going to be and what deck you should be turning out with, or did you come up with something better to beat the current format? It was this classic power struggle that made the format healthy and fun. Now it's just like what I talked about in my video. They literally took black-red mid-range and just put a couple cards in it, and it's better, I guess. I don't know.
It fixed the meta for itself, not in those cards.
Yeah.
That's how you were explaining yesterday. They're like, just swap out 2 cards and it worked against the meta perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Investable Collectibles. It was easier to sit down and enjoy the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Less
you actually could trade with people too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Trading used to be a huge thing back in the day.
I mean, where would a new player go to learn how to play Magic if nobody has introduced them to it, but they've seen Magic cards and they're like, well, it looks like it's a game. It's might be interesting. Where would you go to say it? LGS. That's another reason why they support LGS.
The problem with Standard not being in the spotlight anymore, like being the go-to format like Commander is Commander is a game where, like, my dinosaur deck, I got this cool pre-con, it's upgraded, it's pretty saucy, it's pretty powerful, right? Mm-hmm. Building a 100-card deck can get expensive. Like, when I get my final card for that deck, I want to price it out and post it up. But like, it's got to be at least $400. Mm-hmm. Standard is not always $500 to get in. The meta, in Commander is different, but in Standard, price of a pack is your admission. The price of building a deck, like, it can range pretty decently high, but usually in Standard, you never pay more than $300 for a deck until the deck's proven itself, like in a Pro Tour.
Unless you play with Sheldred.
Sheldred just a multi-format all-star.
Really?
Yeah, so it's worth it. Yeah, but
but like it's so crazy that that like since standard is kind of taking a wayside and pro tours are not being visible very much, that it's taking away the luster for new players to come in the game. We were talking about this yesterday just because of the price of packs alone. The luster for buying products hard. I mean, that like I said, it's like trying to get someone into Warhammer now because the pricing on packs is just ridiculous online. It's
That it is.
ridiculous. Like I don't
Yep.
like my local game store usually tries to sell them for decent, but sometimes they have to overprice too because their distributor charges a certain amount. You know, they got to fight and bicker to get the better prices. I mean, they literally don't sell singles at my local store here. They sell product, you know. So
I'll tell you right now that majority of the people out there who have gone through what I've gone through with grinding and everything, GPs were the biggest eye candy for us newer players that wanted to really get into the competitive scene.
yeah,
Because it was like, hey, I could go and play against quote unquote professional players who are grinding these GPs as well and see this atmosphere of like, wow, this is what the competitive scene looks like. This is awesome. And then you use F&M as like practice to get to that point. And that's what really kept standard alive was the GP circuit. I mean, yeah, they had modern GPs, they had other GPs, but if they want standard to succeed, they have to bring back the GP circuit. I know a lot of people say, oh, you know, like Richie Dubs the other night, he was saying something about once a bell's been rung, you can't unring it. But it's like, I get that aspect. You can't sometimes go back, but you can absolutely bring GPs back. I'm going to be a big advocate for it and preach it till I die because it was one of the healthiest things for Magic.
oh yeah.
I mean,
Well,
you
wasn't
may
it
not.
your ticket to winning your way into Pro Tour?
You may
It
not.
was one of the ways. You had PTQs, you had GPs, you had all kinds of stuff. I mean, they can still keep DreamHack and have GPs on the side.
Right, dream caching is what I call it. Where if you can win a GP or a PTQ to get your ticket paid into the Pro Tour, like I remember back in the day when I was playing Standard, my dream was if I ever got to go to a PTQ or a GP, like an in-store event, to win my ticket into a Pro Tour for the first day. That was never good enough at the time, but that was like the dream. I had something to focus on. I had a goal to land on, even though I was too much of a Timmy back then to actually build a good deck because I wanted my deck to prove itself, but I always built janky decks. But like, no, if it was back again and I got in the scene, I'd be smarter about it to try to get into it because I think when you get to cash your dreams into a goal and have a potential goal, it not only builds excitement, but it builds purpose.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Absolutely.
And I didn't mean to interrupt you, Hillbilly.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, you can, yeah, the bell's being rung. Can't go unring the bell, but you can always make it better than what it is.
And investable collectibles.
But in order to make it better, you got to listen to the player.
That play it, yeah.
Well, like that's another difference. Like we talked about yesterday, that how things has changed. It used to be Watsy used to kiss our asses as the player base. You know, we've spent the money on them. They like this product. Let's make a product they'll want to buy. Now it feels like they've switched their tactics from kissing our asses and making product we want to buy to we make a product, they're going to buy it. We're going to expect them to buy it. And so, surprise, surprise, when we want to interact with a product the way we want to interact with it, and that drops their sales, don't act so surprised.
Really?
You know, because like, look, you know, Captain Waffles, Moving Fool, and Hillbilly all know a good piece of art when they see it. If they see a good piece of art and they want it, they'll think about buying it.
Yep.
If they see a crappy piece of art, they're not going to want to buy it. Well, the same as Magic card. If you see a crappy set, what's going to make you want to buy it? Wizards put out good set. Like I still gripe about New Capenna being one of the crappiest sets of the year. You know, it was not feasible. There's no other, like, it was an all right standard product, and we got some good cards out of it. But like the different counters mechanic was just not good enough to hold up. In fact, I don't think there was any mainstay deck in standard that went into Pro Tour that was New Capenna. Like there was cards from New Capenna in some of those decks, but the only thing that really benefited the most out of New Capenna, besides not only the Tri-lands, is some of the cards saw Commander play. But I don't hear people talking about oh man, different counter strategies winning Pro Tour. Like if you have 5 different counters that do different things or go on different things, like vigilance counter, trample counter, work counter, a booger counter, who cares what kind of counter? It's just more work to play with the card than it is to actually win a game with that at that point. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just don't think New Capenna really offered much to the player base other than a couple cards and triumphs.
I got a question. Didn't New Capenna follow up before the set before was Neon Dynasty?
Neon Dynasty was after, I believe.
Oh, let me check.
Neon Dynasty kicked ass.
Well,
Yeah, Neon Dynasty.
Yeah.
Neon Dynasty was fire.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
You're saying that New Capenna was the worst. I myself have a different opinion. I think the worst.
Machines. I'm going to come over there and kick your butt.
Now, I think the worst set was Infinity.
Well, that's
because
we don't
want you
to Infinity as a set because it's not playable in any format.
Because they want you to put stickers on your cards and all that. I'm like,
yeah,
you putting no dang on stickers on my cards.
Streets of Capenna was right after Neon Dynasty. I just looked it up.
New Capenna came out after Neon Dynasty.
Yeah, just right after. So that's probably why.
Correct, but if that's the case, I'm not gonna judge it. This is New Capenna. Just seems it's such a crappy set. You're gonna oversee it. Neon Dynasty was such an amazing set for Commander, for Standard, for Legacy, for Modern. I mean, those channel lands are pushing up pretty good.
I'm just saying it's kind of hard to follow up after Neon Dynasty. And you make a good set right after, but
look,
I mean, let's be real. Not every set can be a home run set. I mean, even back in the old days, Saviors of Kamigawa, like people did not want to draft that set, and so it was, and nothing really came out of that set. They had to do that Excel crap, and that was garbage, and the whole set was just a flop. And so you're gonna have bad sets. It happens. But more sets you put out, the faster you put them out, you're going to have more bad sets because it's just, the quantity you're putting out. But if you slow it down, bring it back to 3 sets a year, I guarantee you'll go back to them putting out quality sets where every other card in that set is going to be worth something or do something because you're not pushing 400 or 500 cards in a set 7 times a year.
Yeah, you're exactly right on that because like if you have like even if they lowered the number to a little less, but like in Standard, if they focused on 3 good sets and 1 quality set, people would have more fun if they didn't have a crappy set, a couple good sets, and possibly a fire set. Like there's this, let me harken back to something that's always bothered me. It was during a talk, and I'm going to kind of quote Morrow. I'm going to quote Morrow on this one, but like we did a whole video you can find on YouTube if I can remember the name of it. But it's talking about 20 lessons in 20 years.
Yeah, GDC. I think it's his GDC speech. Let me look that up real quick.
But like one of the things that stood out to me is how you could tell they kind of changed their premise on it. But when they designed a card, they'd make sure it wasn't too good, and they'd make sure it wasn't too bad. But what they wanted to do, they'd go around the table and they'd have someone mark off if they liked the card. And they'll have people mark off on a piece of paper if they didn't like a card when they were designing cards. And and at that time, the thought process, if it got all A's, is probably too good. If it got all fails, it shouldn't put in a set. So what they looked at is something that generated different responses more often. And they wanted cards to generate more responses. Well, it feels like they took that same idea, and instead of applying it from a card, they applied it to a set. Like if they want a set, they'll make sets that generate more responses than they do with really good sets. But like then they save those really good sets for like Modern Horizons 3, for example. I mean, for what we've seen, that set's going to be banger, even though they put energy in, which I think was their modifier to generate different responses so far. And I don't know because I haven't seen the full set, but energy is just a weird mechanic. But I know there was a busted deck back in the day that with a banned card in it too. So I don't know. It feels like they're playing too much, and they're not like it feels like Wizards playing too much with set design rather than taking it more serious. Where Hasbro's kind of pushing the envelope. They gotta sell, they gotta make good money. I mean, this WotC is saving the backbone.
Okay, I got 2 points to that to build off that. So one, yes, Modern Horizon 3 coming out, they definitely look like they're putting all their eggs in that basket. But if you look back at, let's say, Iconic Masters, Eternal Masters, Modern Masters, those things came out like what, once every 2 years?
Yeah.
Like you didn't have a master set every 6 months. You had it like every 2 years.
Oh yeah.
And so that actually helped those sets be like, oh, I'm gonna buy this set because it's a master set and it's got some good reprints, and they're not reprinting these things to hell.
Right.
And there was a limited print run, which they should do on things like that.
Right.
And then now you fast forward and it's like, oh, we have a master set every 3 to 6 months, which is ridiculous. And you're just reprinting the same cards from each master set into the next one and driving the price down. So there's no quote unquote collectability. Mm-hmm. What they need to do, like I said, they need to reduce the amount of sets they come out with every year, because if you reduce the amount of sets you're bringing out and you lower the price point, I guarantee you they will make more money selling 3 sets a year at a lower price point than trying to sell us 15 sets a year at a stupid high price range. It doesn't. They've got to the point where they're like, yeah, pick your poison. But if I go to a store, or if I own a store, let's say, and people come in and they keep buying one product and they're disregarding the other 7, eventually I'm just going to stop carrying the other 7 and buy the one product because everybody wants that. So why isn't WotC learning, hey, nobody's buying this crap because they don't want to spend the money on it, but they're all buying this. So let's focus on what they actually want versus trying to cram shit down their throat. Like, it makes no sense to me. If you're a business and you want to make money, pay attention to where your people are spending their money.
Yeah.
LCI IMO was the next best standard set after Kamigawa. What's IMO exactly?
Lost Caverns of Ixalan.
In my opinion.
All right.
IMO means in my opinion.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm old person savvy.
Yeah, I got confused too. I thought you asked what LCI was.
Dude, Ixalan to me was a banger set, but that's just one of those I'm biased about dinosaur sets.
Yeah.
It is good. I like LCI.
I really hope the Cowboys and Bloomberg are good.
Oh, we'll see. I mean, they got a new mechanic called commit a crime. So
yeah,
like what's funny is so far, based off of my conversation with my friend about his videos not performing well, I also haven't seen too many people doing a lot of hyping videos or great videos on Murders of Karlov Manor, the Ravnica based set. And yeah, the Clue edition, I'll say this. The Clue edition of that Ravnica set has way better cards overall in that set that are not in the main set that fit the Ravnica theme better than the Murder of Karlov set, which really pisses me off because that means some of the cards I want are going to be a little more expensive and a little harder to attain. But there's going to be a couple all-stars. There's a counterspell in Simic I want to get. It costs a green and a blue, and when it comes to play, I think it costs green, blue, and X. And when you cast it, you put X. You put X +1 counters on a creature you control. Then you counter target spell unless an opponent plays X, where X is that creature's power. I'm like, that is gonna be so good, and like Commander, it's gonna be good and limited. I want that card because I'm an avid cube builder. Like I have this. I don't know if you know this, but I have a 720 card cube that I love tending to, and I love finding new cards that increase the power level or change the flavor. In fact, I've been slowly converting this to a Ravnica style cube. It's crazy that they know how to sprinkle in cards. Like yesterday when I was saying WotC knows how to design cards, they're really good at it. They also are good at like manipulating the power levels. Like they know when a card's gonna fail. They know when they're gonna print a 10-cent junk card, and they'll put it in the set just to nerf that slot so that not everything's playable. But they did make the step to now they never do a set with only a vanilla creature in it. Unless that creature is like banging 5-mana 10/10.
Well, you have to realize some of the bulk rares in the set are really powerful in the limited format. But outside that, they're garbage. So that's why those cards retain that quote unquote price tag. But some of those cards are super fun if you play casual. So they're catering to that style of play by putting those types of cards in there, which is fine. It's absolutely okay. You just that's part of the gamble of opening boxes sometimes. But I disagree with everybody. I think MKM is actually a really good set, and I think 5 years from now we're going to see a lot more cards. It could even be 2 years from now, a lot more cards from the set being played, because I think not only has WotC gotten greedy, the player base has also gotten greedy with the power level of cards. And if you really sit down and evaluate some of these cards, like the blue-white mythic detective guy, Prof or whatever, he's literally Sphinx Rev on crack. Like, you have a clue token, sack it to Sphinx Rev. And you're just like, oh, look, I make more clues and more Sphinx Rev. Like, in a blue-white control shell, that guy's ridiculous. But a lot of people look at him and they're just like, yeah, he's whatever. But I guarantee you, in a couple years from now, there's going to be a standard deck with him.
Maybe. I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, like in Commanders, can be hard to push because we already have a character that Sphinx Res when you attack, and it's not seeing play really at all. See, that it's hard to cater to multiple formats. So that must be one of WotC's issues, catering to multiple formats. But one thing
let's be real. They're only catering to Commander, and we all know it.
For the most part, yes. But you know, remember back in the day when drafting was like the best format overall. Like, not saying it
still is.
Not saying it isn't or changed, but the focus of drafting is changed in WotC's eyes because it's all Commander now. It's all about deck building. But like, no, you're right. There's powerful cards in there for limited, and there's powerful cards in there for standard. But there's a lot of like. Here's the dangerous line, right? Here's where I see the dangerous line. When you're catering to Commander, Standard, and, you know, I don't know if they really think about Modern, because, you know, cards will automatically roll to Modern if they're good. You know, there's Commander, Standard, Limited, right? Three big things right there. They got to make cards for all the three sets to make it viable and valuable to the eyes of the people playing because of the three main things. Modern is still good, but like also they got to pay attention to pauper, peasant. They got to cater to historic. They got to cater to just a bunch of sets. It's a spaghetti bowl of different formats. And it's just ridiculous because, like, I think maybe, and this is kind of on defense of Wizards, maybe set designing is getting a little bit harder because of all the formats they got to cater to most times. But we know they really cater to the Commander and more modern and legacy, modern and Commander players and standard players. That's what I meant. But it's tough.
Honestly, if they standard, if they just take standard, modern, and commander and build sets for those cards only, the rest will take care of themselves, because the only real formats that are being played in the high level tournaments like the Pro Tours is standard, Pioneer, and modern. Yes, you have your vintage championship. Yes, you have your legacy championship thing, but that's removed from what's actually being the most common tournament scene throughout the year, which is standard, modern, Pioneer. If you build for those three and you sprinkle in a little bit of commander and you make sure your limited portion's fine, everything else trickles down. So realistically, they only got to focus on five things really. But when it comes to like MH3 and then making commander decks for that, I literally just want to like drive off a cliff, because it's like, come on, it's literally modern Horizons. Why are we putting commander staples and decks in a modern set? It makes no sense to me. And this is where I feel like they're losing people, because it's like, oh, it's just a cash grab. That's literally all it is.
Oh, and also importantly, to add to what you're saying, Emrakul, the new Emrakul, should have been released in a standard set, since the storyline was a standard format, and they threw it in Modern Horizons. Like yesterday when I was saying, it got me excited because I'm excited for it, but it pisses me off because, you know, it's like they're forcing people to like, hey, you want this new card? You got to pay extra money for it. I'm like, but
well, it seems like they're really pushing the Eldrazi theme in MH3, because if you look at the spoiled full art lands, every single one of them has an Eldrazi in it.
That's cool. I mean, interesting. I love Eldrazi, so I love them about as much as I do dinosaurs. But you know, one of my most remembered stories was getting to my local game store just to see Emrakul Leon's Torn spoiled for the whole Rise of Eldrazi set. So yeah, you remember when Emrakul Leon's Tour was a pre-release promo? Pepperidge Farm, remember?
Oh yeah.
That was hella cool. But like but yeah, no. Like I said, WotC used to kiss our asses back in the day, but now they have to do other things. You know.
Yep.
Like, I don't get it. Like, one thing I don't understand is the growth of the company. Like, I don't understand how they're growing, because sometimes it feels like they're overstretching, and sometimes they feel like they don't know their own boundaries. You know.
Well, they're not growing. They just laid off a bunch of people.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like, they started overstretching. They overdid themselves, and like, oh, we can't do this.
Yep, and Hasbro,
and a lot of that was because of the whole, you know, COVID era and all that stuff going on, and sales jumped through the roof because people had all this stimulus money to spend, and collectibles got out of control and all this. But to be real, I mean, Hasbro just needs to get their shit out of WotC. Stop trying to direct that ship, and just go back to making board games and stay the fuck out of Magic, and let some competent people start running Wizards of the Coast again. And that's the thing. Get somebody in there who knows what the hell they're doing, will actually listen to their consumer, and that's how you're going to make money. I mean, otherwise they're just going to go out of business, and we're all going to look at Magic for the next 5 years and go, oh, that was a fun 30 years. And then we all go play Flesh and Blood and Lorcana.
If I stop playing Magic, it's going to be the last card game I play, to be honest.
That's
and I'm going to still play Magic, too.
Sorry.
You're good.
But I think that Hasbro is trying to push WotC into making all these sets. But all that's doing is hurting them instead of helping. Well, all they see is that green and they don't need to be looking at that green. They need to be looking at the consumer. The consumer determines what they buy.
Well, here's an analogy. WotC's ski line and stuff has become a buffet. You go to the buffet, you pay a price to get into the buffet, and you grab a plate, and then what are you going to do? You're going to fill that plate with whatever looks good to you. You're not going to find every food you want there that's going to be delicious, but maybe you grab a pizza, some mashed potatoes. Who knows? Maybe get some mac and cheese. The point is out of all the food in the buffet, you're not going to try it all. You're going to have like 1 or 2 plates and call it done. And with all the skews and all the things coming out, people are feeling the same way. They're not only they're getting overwhelmed, but you know, not every dish or every every piece of food that's out there is looking very good. Like I said, New Capenna were just really harsh. Just didn't do it. And the only thing that's saving that, like saving the price of lands, is a couple cards in the Triumphs. The Triumphs are worth a pretty decent amount of money. But like Captain Waffle says, Saviors of Kamigawa was a tough set, and Saviors was the third set in the block, and it was a poopy set compared to the rest of the block. Because out of even a lot of commander cards don't come from Saviors; they come from the other two sets. But like Murder Carlos Manor, tough set. The reason why it's tough is because there's a lot of mechanics there that are too boxed in, and by boxed in, they're meant to fit in that world of Magic. But which I said is crazy, because when they created the Clue set, there's a lot of good cards in the Clue set. Even Fallout has good cards. Like there's a lot of good cards in Fallout that I like, but there's a couple cards I'm eyeballing because they fit a Ravnica theme. I don't know if you know this, but I really like Ravnica. Where do we get to the point where we're tired of eating at the buffet and we want to go to Burger King or maybe cook a roast at home? That's what it's getting to.
Yep. Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy. As long as we can keep the game alive, to keep Spell Table up, and we can play games, that'd be awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Woo, what a big subject today. We actually filled the day up, so that means I can save the deck of the day for tomorrow. But we'll still get this little advertisement bit done.
The deck of the day is brought to you by Red Cub Leather. High quality leather deck boxes and merchandise. Customizable options are available. The link is in the description box below.
There you go. So let's get to the fun part of the show, the show part.
All right. Well, I'm still trying to get to 400 subs so I can do a giveaway. And it's going to be a good, interesting giveaway. And I'm going to try to stream a Commander game this afternoon. If I can get at least 3 players. But if I don't get 3 players at least, then it probably won't be a stream. Other than that, that's all I got to show.
If you can't get the players, do some arena.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
I do arena if I can't get Commander going.
All right, sounds
and it
good.
will not be a AM stream tomorrow because I have an appointment. So it will be a PM arena stream tomorrow afternoon.
And Captain Waffles.
Oh boy, I got a lot of stuff. Wafflecast finally went live. Episode 3 of Waffled will be coming out soon. More streaming of Arena will be happening. And if I get to 250, we got that Sheltered the Apocalypse to give away. So subscribe, and when that video drops of it, you'll have to just like and comment and share and all the fun stuff, and then I'll pick a winner from it. So other than that, what's that?
So it'll be funny if you do the giveaway and I win.
Yeah. No, I'll rig it so you don't. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a lot of stuff still coming down the pipeline as I get stuff out.
Captain Waffles, beautiful.
Yeah, I don't have nothing to show today. I just want to say hey to everyone. I hope you're having a good time.
All right, so the tortoise shells. So yesterday I ordered 10 custom playmats to give away. 2 of them are going to be given away to people who attend the auction. Two are extra are going to be given away as this channel giveaway. 2 are going to people who helped out with the auction. They know who they are, and the rest, one playmat is going with my deck, my giveaway deck. Then I got 5 customized sleeves 4 to give away. One's going to the giveaway deck, so I have 3 extra just to chill out and give away in the future. So
Nice.
if you're into giveaways, follow all our channels because we're going to be having giveaways like crazy.
Ooh,
Thank you for everybody who helped make these giveaways awesome. And today I plan on going live around 4:30, like normal, like I'm supposed to. Don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, but I'm still going to go live.
you remember the last giveaway you did, Tortoise?
Yeah.
They lost and won it.
Yeah.
That giveaway was close to around my giveaway,
That's true.
my last giveaway.
No, well, it's true. It was like one right after another.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he won both of them.
Yep. He sure, dang black, he sure did.
He said he went out and bought a lottery ticket and it didn't work. He used all his luck on magic cards.
Yeah.
All right. We are reaching the end goal. I want to thank everybody for joining us, chatting with us, hanging out with us, being amazing. Don't forget to check out everybody's links here. They're all in the chat right there. Check out Captain Waffles. He's a newer channel. He's building up. He does some awesome content, really creative, just like Hillbilly, just like Movingful.
Yeah.
Just have fun, go with it. And thank you guys for being awesome. Thank you for being amazing as I'm filling in time as I look for a video clip. There you go. Listen to Lord Megatron.
Shockwave! What is your command, Megatron?
Subscribe for Magic the Gathering and other content for evil fun.
Fear not, Megatron. Cybertron